I'm back on Pinole Valley Ridge Trail this morning. It is October 28th, and I'm just pointing out the tall invasive fire fuel behind me. The reason I'm pointing it out is that I bet a lot of people look at that and say, see, that's exactly why we need the goats. Here's what you're not including in that thought process. This is what it looked like almost immediately after the goats left. Goats didn't solve this. Goats missed a lot of it, and these plants grow so fast that the problem is back within weeks of the goats leaving, and then turns into fire fuel because of the messed up time of year that these plants now grow, thanks to the constant propagation via the goat grazing and the fact that they are opportunistic invasive plants. You're never not going to need to graze these down. You need to change the strategy entirely if you want to solve it. Or just admit that you're happy giving livestock meals every year on your dime. But please, stop saying that this is habitat restoration. Stop saying it's for the benefit of the habitat. Stop saying that it's successful fire mitigation. It's none of those things. It's a waste of tax dollars, and it's nature being fed to livestock, while spreading the problem that those livestock are supposedly here to solve. Speaking of resources, every year, even after the goats come through, the city comes through and does what I call trying to cover up the failure of the goats. They use a grading machine and just run over the plants and take dirt from the road and dump it on top of them, but you know, the evidence isn't hidden fully. You can see this part over here, but you know, this area with these big thistles, it just gets worse every year. And you could say that it's for fire emergency or something like that, but this road gets wider every year. So you're telling me they had no idea how wide the road should have been in the first place, and you're telling me that this thing needs to be the width that 2 fire trucks could go down side by side. It just sounds like excuses to me. Anyway, the point is, that's more money spent, more resources. The humans come through with the machines after the goats come through. And if you're gonna run things over, try and hide the problem, at least remove the problem, since you justified the goats being here in the first place with the fear of how dangerous all this stuff is. You gotta be kidding me. Between the goats and the grading machines coming through, the erosion is reaching crazy levels. I mean, the hill is just being flattened slowly and gradually. Look at this. You can still see holes from the goat prints, the goat hooves. This is new. Now they're weed whacking out here. You know, the goats left late April last year, and today's October 28th. And it's not just that, it's, you can see that it's a very straight line where all of a sudden the height changes. That's not the way that goats eat. So, after the goat grazing, after the graders come through, then the walking path had weed whackers come and go along the entire distance of a walking path. And let's not forget the detail that they leave the dangerous fire fuel on the ground. Most intelligent species, my ass, huh? I thought I'd share the sunrise, a bright spot in all this sad stuff I'm reporting, but you know, look at my feet, and the weed-whacked trail continues. The goat trampling holes, the bare soil, the bare compacted soil where it's been abused so badly. Nothing, even the invasives aren't coming. I guess people consider that an accomplishment. Well, guess what? That's not habitat restoration. You know, if it isn't the noise pollution of the freeway or leaf blowers, the sounds of some neglected, completely ignored dog is filling the air. But take a look over this hill. That's a section of coyote brush down there that gets smaller and smaller every year because the goats rip off branches and sections of it and turn healthy vegetation into firewood and then leave it on the ground. And the overall greenery shrinks. The healthy habitat area shrinks. And you see the lighter coloring, it looks like some of these are blossoming, which is really sad because if they continue with their pattern, the goats are going to be here very soon. Which is funny because the goats are wrapping up at the other location that I was filming. And here they're about to start. And it's not like I changed states or changed habitats significantly. It's not like I moved from the ocean to the Sierras. It just shows that there's really no rhyme or reason to the timing of this goat grazing, other than the contract being able to be fulfilled at that time. There's a treat. Got a couple of deer making their way through all that Italian thistle and slender oats. You guys having a nice meal of nothing? Now, while you do see birds and trees, I want to take a moment to point out to people, there's some birds in that poison oak. How many people have noticed how much time birds spend in shorter vegetation, like shrubs, saplings, or even on the ground? You know, after you say it out loud, you might be like, oh, well, yeah, duh. But I'm willing to say that most people associate birds with trees. And that's actually not even the case a majority of the time. I'm noticing that I'm seeing birds down and stuff like this more often than I'm seeing them in trees. Why am I saying that? Because when the goats come through here and destroy all of this and strip it bare, you just got rid of areas that birds were using. All right, I'm down closer to the coyote brush, and yes, indeed, we got some blossoms. Wonderful. I already filmed an entire episode. My girlfriend just texted me saying, what do the deer eat out there? And it's actually a good question, because a lot of times when I walk through these fields of invasives, I note that they pretty much look untouched. You know, the plant from top to bottom looks to be in full form. So it seems like the wildlife aren't too interested in feeding on most of these invasives, especially once they get to this stage. And that means that every time that the goats get rid of the lower branches of oak trees, or strip the saplings bare, or eat the poison oak, you've gotten rid of the food that the wildlife do want to eat. And it's already pretty meager and terrible habitat as it is. I mean, look at this. That's all invasive. None of that's supposed to be here. And we call it habitat. You know, that's pretty messed up. And then you go and destroy what little they have left. Okay, look at this. freaking tell me that the goats accomplished something this year. My God. Here's an even more dramatic shot of the road widening. I'm just shoving dirt to the side until you bury the plants. It's quite a shot of the tall invasives. There you are. I wonder if there's a nest in here. Last year, after the goats came through and destroyed all this coyote brush, I found some destroyed nests. It was pretty sad. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who even thinks about it. Look at all the birds flying around in here. I told you they hang out down low. I'm really regretting not having a better camera.